So, hello again YouTube from the Airgun Safety Lecture Club, whatever. I corrected my design about the Leshiy 2 original air tank, and because there was the Sandvik U-drill insert, it has a slight angle to it and 0.4mm radius in the corners. Considering all this and the material, the safety factor just on the surface is just below 1, so it's on borderline if it's yielding or not on the surface without any outside force into this end. But yeah, the stress is very manageable everywhere else, and this is just at the very surface of the part in the inside corner that is possibly yielding due to the stresses when using the part. So it might eventually induce cracking in here, and if there is moisture present in the air that is being used, which there should not be, there can be some corrosion damage, and corrosion with this corner and dropping the rifle, there's a risk. There's a risk that it could fail, but it is not as bad as it looked in the beginning. And pressure testing, well, I'll make the video about this whole incident, the conclusion of this, as I made a second pressure testing, and I discovered that in the first one on the 470 bar I have made a mistake. Not my mistake, but the mistake in the procedure. There was some debris in the pump, and I believe that has blocked the pressure gauge port that sees the cylinder pressure, and it has been showing lower than the actual pressure in the cylinder, and that's why it was yielding at lower pressure than it should. I believe that is the case, but yeah, I don't know how I'm going to edit this video, but I need to make some kind of a reprisal. I don't know the correct term, but I want to correct the error that I made that gives a different light to the situation than that it actually is. This is a concern, but it is not immediately dangerous. Looking now at the material specs and the stress analysis and everything, but it is a safety concern that I have been talking with the manufacturer, and well, we are talking about this situation, so he's very professional about this whole incident, and I don't know what is going to happen, but I know that he is aware about this, and there might be some changes. I don't know. I cannot say anything more than that, because I'm just one guy in his own little shop making these tests and analyses and stuff, just as on hobby base, give or take. But yeah, Ed has been very understanding about this whole situation, and it's really nice to see a manufacturer who actually cares about his product and the end user and everything like that. But yeah, I'll stitch this whole video thing together somehow, and we'll see what's what, and you can stone me in the comments. But yeah, this'll continue. I've been in contact with Ed from Edgun, and he wanted to send me new cylinders to replace the ones I destroyed, which is nice. I was not charged anything about from these cylinders because he just wants the guns to be used and enjoyed. So he respects that I tested and took apart the gun for safety, and so he wanted to send me cylinders to replace the ones I destroyed. This set is with the conical bottom, and this is with the straight bottom. It's really very dark there. All the long cylinders that I have seen have been with the conical bottom, so those should be safe if the material is okay. And what I have tested, the material is what it's supposed to be. Only thing I don't know is the temper of the cylinders. And I wanted to rerun the test because there is a slight possibility that I have made an error, because I found debris in the pump. There was a broken O-ring, and some of this debris was in front of the hole that goes into the pressure gauge. So the gauge might have not read correctly, I don't know. It's very slight possibility, but because that possibility exists, I want to rerun the test so that it's fair to everyone. And if I have made a mistake, I don't want to be unfair towards Edgun. Especially that he gave me the cylinders. He doesn't want, he didn't say, how should I put it? He don't want to influence what I do with these. He said put them on the gun and use them or test them. It's up to me. So this is not something that's been asked of me, but this is something I want to do because I want to be fair to all parties involved in this. And if there has been a mistake on my part, I want to see that corrected, and I can happily admit that okay, I made a mistake, and I want that to be known. But regardless of the outcome of this pressure test, the corner problem still remains in this. So it is yielding on normal pressure on the surface. Of course there's more material here, so it's not yielding all the way, but given time and the circumstances, using the gun, dropping the cylinder and all, it might lead to a failure. So this is something I don't like this corner, and I have been talking with Ed about this, and yeah. But yeah, also I made these sectors so we can measure at the same part from the same exact location on the cylinder. So let's check the cylinder on this. Sorry, this is hard with the phone on my hand. 36.5556. Oh, sorry. Now I'm putting my hand under the camera. I want to get this. I want to measure the tape. 36.55. 36.55. Not measuring the tape. It's slightly difficult with one hand, but yeah, 36.55. And I'm pushing this so it's always the same time, same amount. So, but yeah, 36.55. We can call it 36.56. 100 of a millimeter is nothing in this game, because if it yields, it's going to be more. And we're going to measure this from the first point, 36.55, and here 36.55, 36.5556. Yeah. So the measurements are 36.55 just about everywhere on the cylinders on this strip that I taped. But yeah, now I'm going to stop the video and fill them up, connect the pump, check that everything holds pressure, and then we're going to continue. So, test setup is running. There's the cylinder, and we have some water test because I spilled some, but it's not leaking. Pressure is holding about 250, and we have no leaks. So let's start pumping. I hope you can bear with me. Sorry if I make you seasick. There we have 330 megapascals. Still no leaks. Sounds like an air bubble in the system. Okay, let's continue. And now we have 400 and slightly less than 400. Still no leaks. Hold it there for a little while. Minute. Then we're going to the 450/70-ish. Just a little bit more. We're at 450. No. Hydro testing pressure for 300 bar system. Just like every scooper bottle and every system that sees 300 bars, you hydro test it to 450. And now it shouldn't yield at all anywhere. And we just wait. Pressure is slightly dropping. There could be an internal leak of the pump. Or material yielding. We'll see that soon enough. At least there's no leaks. None that I see. It's dropping ever so slightly. Well, this is going to be a long video waiting, so I'm just gonna wait, and I'm going to fast forward this for you people, so you can then see what's going on. I think I need some kind of camera mount. This is stupid, holding the phone by hand. But I wasn't planning making so many YouTube videos, so I just use my phone and the stuff available in the shop. It has dropped a little. Exciting. Could be just O-ring letting go and leaking ever so slightly. It doesn't need a big leak when it falls. I think I'm gonna put the pressure back up. The pump piston is leaking, that's why it's so hard to pump. This pump isn't designed to be used with water glycol mix. It should have hydraulic oil, but I don't like putting oil into the air cylinders, so I use water and service the pump once in a while. I could put another cylinder between which has a piston that pushes the water. I've been thinking about doing that, but haven't gotten into it yet. Then I could use hydraulic oil and not worry about the pump, and I could use water in the systems. But I don't do this so often, so it's not on my priority list. I give it 2 minutes more, and it's 10-minute long video. It's been like 5 minutes under pressure. Or should we just wait the whole 10 minutes for this cycle. Yeah, still dropping ever so slightly. Kind of hoping it doesn't yield. Because that's a shame. That would be a shame. That would mean I didn't make a mistake, which is always fun. But that would mean that to the normal test procedures, all the cylinders are faulty. Still dropping slightly. Not much, but dropping. There's no more water in there, so it's not leaking out. Might be the pump. Might be the cylinder yielding. Might be the alignment of the planets. Might be, it could be a million things. Most likely the pump leaking or the cylinder yielding or something else leaking. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it 4 minutes more than it's 10 minutes, and we can call it good. Because in any case 450 it shouldn't yield. Of course, the part where the surface is over the yield strength, there could be microfractures developing, could be, but anyways, I'm not going to use these 2 cylinders after this test. Actually, the longer cylinder is usable because it got the conical bottom. It directs the stress away from the corner somewhat. It relieves enough stress from the corner that it's not an issue. It's a simple fix, small design change for the cylinders to make radius corner there. Minimum 2 millimeters is enough. Even 1.5 millimeters relieves the strain from the corner and would be okay-ish. But yeah, 2 millimeters is safe. Anything over that is extra safe. And well, you always have to consider the fact that somebody accidentally drops the gun. So the more there is safety margin in that corner, because it's a load-bearing structure also on the short reservoir, because that is the only thing holding the buttstock. The lower tube is, I'll take the parts package there. The lower tube is not supported. This is just cosmetic and leaning against the plenum. It's not holding anything. It's just a cosmetic. It makes the buttstock look good. Watching the pressure. Holding about where it should hold. Yeah, it's a long video to wait. I'm going to edit the parts. We're just watching the gauge. I'm going to fast forward them, but I'm not going to cut this video. I'm going to relieve the pressure in a minute, and then we're going to take the first measurements. I'm going to make one long video so there's no doubt this is the same test. Let's see if we can use that. I want to bang the valve. Should start dropping in a second. Or not. Yep, there it goes. Let's take an interesting measurement. Like in 250 bars. Does it stop there? Yes, it does. You can take that off because it didn't burst at 450. It's not gonna burst at this pressure. Here you can see the take from number 2. This is the deformation when there's still pressure in there. It's 500. 500ths of a millimeter, 700ths of a millimeter more. Then we'll relieve the rest of the pressure. Now it's unpressurized. And let's take the first measurements here. Number 1 spot. Yeah, nothing. We're the same as it was. 5. So, and 5. No, tape is in the way. And we're at 5.6. So, no yielding. How about the small one? They're not at the same, but yeah, it shows 5.5, 5.3, 5.5. It's the same. It's not yielding at 450. Interesting. I might have made a mistake. Need to take it apart, take proper measurements, and then we're going to conclude these findings. I was thinking about, should I push it to 500 or not, but it was already at 460, 470-ish for some time before it started dropping, but it was at 450 for a good 10 minutes. Didn't yield. Interesting. The possibility is either there's change in heat treatment of that material, because the material is probably the same. I'm going to test that material when I get a chance. But the conical bottom cylinders would be safe. Yeah, that's nice. That is good. Yeah, now I'm going to cut the video because you saw the preliminary measurements and they were looking okay, and I don't doubt that they're not okay when I take it apart and clean it, so we can properly measure them, but it shouldn't change because it didn't look like that. So there actually might have been debris in front of the gauge. And this time it wasn't actually just as hard to pump it up to the 450. Yeah, we'll get back to the video. I'm going to edit this. This is going to be a long one again. Okay, then the first batch of the cylinders. 55. 55. 55. And 55. No yielding. This was the first one with the straight bottom, shorter cylinder. And let's measure that one. Don't you go anywhere. Wants to run away. Yeah, 53. 52. And 52. So there's no yielding at that pressure, and to be sure that we are not just 20 bars under, I'm going to sacrifice this pair, and I'm going to go just above 500-ish, so we can see that we are not close to the yielding point. If it yields at 500, then it's similar to the other cylinders, and that will conclude this. If it doesn't yield, then it's pretty much sure. Well, we'll get to that part when we get to that part. Not going to say anything about that just yet. So I'll set this up one more time and then we're done. We're coming up on 5 minutes. So let's drop the pressure gently. Take that off. Set it aside. Another project, Alteros. And no, I'm not hydro testing that. I once got a steel cylinder and just putting it into a new stock, because the airsoft stock, the stock one, stock, that's a funny way of putting it, is, well, it's as sturdy as rubber hose. Let's see. What is 654? Yeah. Five. And it survived, so we can come to that conclusion that there was an error in the first hydro test, and the pieces of the O-ring has gotten into the gauge. Then there was pieces in front of the gauge when I open it. And yeah, well, live and learn. We make mistakes, and so it goes. So I must apologize to Ed for the misinformation, and but yeah, the safety concern, well, we've got to look at the corner of the cylinder, so that's something good out of this whole situation, something that needs to be addressed. But all in all, the cylinders are safe considering the pressure. The material is not yielding, at least these two pairs that I tested. So to conclude this Leshiy 2 ordeal, we have some parts to be cleaned from the coolant, but I rather clean coolant from the airgun parts than oil, because with oil you need to use some kind of solvent, and there's the possibility that solvent gets trapped in somewhere in the threads or something, and then you push high pressure air in there and you could possibly make a pipe bomb. But yeah, pipe bomb has been theme of this video series, and for the conclusion I must be, well, I remain humble for the fact that everybody make mistakes, and also I'm grateful for Ed at Edgun. He's been very understanding that it's possible for people to make mistakes, and he's he's been understanding and very helpful on everything. So thank you for Ed. And I hope the corner issue gets some kind of resolve on their part. This is my opinion as a hobbyist and as a mechanical engineer, that tight corner, sharp corner on pressure vessel is not a good design, but all in all it's not immediately dangerous, as the testing has concluded. The vessel can take over 700 bars without rupture, and I would be interested to see how much this vessel can take. And next time when I have my common rail injector set up on the lathe, I'm going to put a diesel injector nipple into the end cap that I made, this one. I'm going to thread a diesel nipple to this, and I have 2,400 bars from the diesel pump, and we have the yielded cylinder. It would be interesting to see where it fails. If it fails from the thinnest part here or the O-ring. This is not the straight bottom type cylinder. All the long tubes I have seen are on the conical variant. They've been spiral drilled, and the bottom is give or take 118 degrees roughly, but yeah. So to conclude this, don't rush to assumptions like I did, and I am deeply sorry for that. But also, what is good on this incident, we now have some kind of interesting information. We have material information, design information, and pressure testing information on the new parts that I got from Ed. And these cylinders are going back to the gun. I pressure tested these to 450 bars. There were no issues on these parts. Both are the conical bottom variant, so I should be safe on the gun. And the 2 extra cylinders I have, I don't yet know what I'm going to do with them, but I can use them as a reference if I blow this up. And yeah, but all in all, I hope you don't kill me in the comments. I know I've deserved some of the hate, and always remember this has been a safety matter, and that's all that I have always wanted, to check that this is safe, because one exploded and we still don't know what the reason was for that. If it was the corner or dropping the rifle, or maybe there has been some volatile substances in the cylinder, and when you fill the gun, the parts per volume of oxygen in the cylinder is much higher, because it's condensed in there, so there's much more oxygen in the air than in the breathing air. So it might have auto-ignited something in the cylinder. When you apply pressure in the cylinder, it heats up because the air is compressed, and it can get pretty hot. But anyways, that's in the lab, and Edgun will tell people what's the outcome of that. And well, this was my part on this journey, and one cylinder is going to be exploded. Pressure test to failure on some point by me, but I don't know when, because that is up to the point when I have use for the common rail pump. Then I'm going to test that. I'm just not going to put the pressure rig onto the lathe because it's too much work for one cylinder if I have no injectors to test. But yeah, everybody have the safety in mind when working with high pressure air. It is dangerous. It's not to be taken lightly. And this has been a reminder to the airgun community that everybody is more or less blind to the dangers of high pressure air, and these guns are treated very lightly, with very light-hearted throwing, dropping, and etc. Always be in mind that there is very much energy inside the gun. So, but everybody stay safe and have a nice day. Bye.